Hi guys, welcome to the morning after. I am your host, Sharleen Joynt. So as you can tell, it's not morning, it's actually Sunday night. Women Tell has just aired. I'm hopping on a plane at 7 in the morning tomorrow, so it just made more sense to do my morning after tonight instead of in the morning. So I hope that's okay. I'm still gonna go through in chronological order and get my Flair recap out tomorrow. So I'll start off with my Maltesers moment, and that is when Chris Harrison called Becca's mom during Becca's hot seat time. I thought this was super cute, and I actually hadn't heard about Becca M's missing story, and so that was new to me, and I thought it was funny. And it was just super cute when her mom was like, she's exactly where she said she'd be. I just thought that was really cute. And yeah, I thought my Maltesers moment would be call your mom more. Remember, it's #LikeGoals, which is a play on life goals. And yeah, call your mom more, let her know where you are, tell her you love her. I just thought it was cute. Okay, so I'm gonna go in chronological order here. First is the glam shaming thing between Marique and Chelsea. You know, in many ways I wish Marique had let this roll off her back a little easier. That said, I do feel like I'm on her side in all this. I feel like it's just not necessary to point out when a woman, you know, is clearly very looks conscious or brushing her hair or is just, you know, thinking about how she looks. You're on The Bachelor, it's national television, millions of people are watching you. I just don't think it's necessary to judge, because I do think Chelsea was. She claims she wasn't judging her, but by telling Ari, it's just not necessary. I just don't think you need to do that. I agree with what Sienna said. She said it became a thing because Chelsea told Ari and then Ari told Marique. So, you know, if you want to quietly, you know, judge to yourself, then fine, but I just don't think it's necessary to tell The Bachelor that. Okay, moving on. Becca versus Tia. This was interesting when Becca confronted Tia about God, so many names, talking to Ari about, you know, thinking Becca wasn't ready. I talk about this in my Flair recap, so I'm not going to repeat myself here, that I might not think what you guys think. I don't know. I'll see about that. Okay, Crystal is in the hot seat. Whew, and I don't know, she kind of scares me. I'm curious to know what you guys think. Crystal scares me a bit, like in that Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of way. You can just see that she has such a veneer on. You know, with her smile, she's just so together, but then she'll kind of like transform into someone different when she gets angry, and it's actually kind of terrifying. We saw this happen in the clip of her, you know, during the bowling date. We all know it. When, you know, she called the women C words and called Ari a needle dick or whatever. I don't know, like she just sort of lost it, and it's like, most of us, even when we get super angry, there's still like a sense of control, and it's like she uses up all her control for like her day-to-day and then has none left for when she's angry. That's how it just sort of seems to me. And it happened again when Caroline was confronting her about, you know, saying mean things about the other women, and Crystal just like lost it, like completely lost it. It just kind of scared me. It's like there's no like in between, it's one or the other. I think Becca's M, I guess I don't have to say M because she was the only Becca there, expressed this whole like Crystal thing best when she said, just be the real Crystal, don't try to curate a presence of always being zen and love and peace if that's not who you are. Just be real about it, be honest about it. I thought she expressed this better. You know, a lot of people had things about Crystal that annoyed them or that they thought rubbed them the wrong way about her, but I thought this was just well and concisely put. You know, no one cares if you're not zen or all about peace and love. It's just, it's the fakeness that puts people off. Okay, so Sienna then gets the hot seat, and I mean, Sienna, God, what a class act is she. She's just so beautiful. I loved her dress. She's just like got it together, you know. I like that she confessed that she wasn't expecting to get emotional here, you know, when watching her time back. She said that enough time had passed and she felt confident that she and Ari weren't meant to be together, yet she still got emotional. She like couldn't help it. I thought that was interesting. I know exactly how she feels because I felt the same way when I watched my time back. And I love, she said a quote here that I just had to write down. It was like fourth wall breakage, and I loved it. She said, when you watch this show, you only get to see a small part of who we are. And, you know, we know this. We know this by now. I talk about this in all my recaps. It's just, you know, I don't need to beat a dead horse. But to hear someone on the show say that, you know, carries some weight. Okay, so Becca M then gets the hot seat. I thought this was interesting. Becca M argued that she feels that her age made Ari feel insecure about his age. And now, I don't entirely disagree on this, but I think it's missing the point a bit because it is his season of The Bachelor, and the premise of the show is for him to find a wife. And so even though her age might have made him feel insecure, this is his turf, if that makes sense. And so he's well within his right to bring up her age if he feels that that could prevent him or, you know, in some way not jive with his ultimate goal of being Bachelor, if that makes sense. So yeah, you know, I'm not denying that Becca M could be ready for all that. It's just the jury's still out, and, you know, she would be the exception to the rule of a 22-year-old if she were ready. I do like the point she made, though, about, you know, how there were 23, 24, 25-year-olds on the season, and no one was giving them any flack about being young. So, yeah, I see her point, but she's still 22. I think that, you know, when the point of the show is marriage and children, you can't, she had to know that it might be an issue going into it, if that makes sense. Okay, so Tia gets the hot seat. There's honestly almost nothing to say about this. We knew that Tia was completely in love with Ari. She was arguably the most invested in Ari out of all the women, and she was completely blindsided when he sent her home. So, I don't know, the only major takeaway was just confirmation that she's like a legit runner for Bachelorette. I felt like she was already kind of a shoo-in, and then her segment was just, it was the right amount of, oh, I'm single and looking, and oh, I was so heartbroken, which is usually the perfect, like, cocktail of seed planting for Bachelorette. CN also, I think, is in the running, but not to the same extent that Tia is. I really felt a heavy, like, Tia is being primed for Bachelorette essence surrounding her hot seat time. Okay, Ari comes in and he says, okay, no, Ari comes in. He didn't say anything. I don't know what I'm talking about. So he comes in. I love the moment with Jacqueline here where she brings up the fact that he, you know, the whole her pursuing a PhD might be an obstacle. And I just love that she supported him here and was just like, look, it is an obstacle. Like, if I want to be in school for 6 years, I just thought it was nice that she came to his defense because he was getting flack online, apparently. And also, I liked when Ari said that there's a huge weight to being the Bachelor and making the right decision and not regretting your choices. And I think it's easy for us at home to sort of forget that and be like, oh, he should be with her, he should be with her. Or like, oh, she's boring, she's too this, she's too that. And I think it's easy to forget that in his position, there is a ton of pressure and everyone's going to judge your choice no matter what. So at the very least, you want to not regret your choice. Also, okay, so and then Caroline, oh my God, okay, so Caroline confronts Ari and is like, I know what you did. And I can't believe you could do that, or like, didn't think you could do that. She's like very pointed, and as a spoiler-free person, I don't know if any of you know the spoilers, don't tell me if you do, but as someone who didn't, I was like, what is it? I don't know what he did. I thought he handled it really well. He didn't like defend himself or you know, kind of scoff her off. He just sort of nodded and was like, yeah, we'll watch that play out. Oh my God, I have no idea what that's about. I mean, Chris Harrison kept calling it the most dramatic finale ever, as he does every season, but I don't know, I'm kind of like, ugh. Okay, and then Crystal comes up and sits on the sofa with Ari, and gosh, the way he handles her here is just so delicious. I wrote in all caps, delicious. I just love that he doesn't pander to her at all. And, you know, he just sort of puts her in her place without being unnecessarily mean. He's just extremely matter of fact, and I loved it. Okay, and then, I mean, that's pretty much it for Women Tell All, except for this really random Blockers commercial. It sort of comes out of nowhere. It's on the tail end of the bloopers, and it's like we come away from the bloopers and suddenly there's the cast of Blockers. It's just like a weird stretch. And like we always see ads for other ABC shows like sort of peppered into these tell-all episodes, but those feel a little more cohesive to me. I don't know, because it's ABC. It's like, oh yeah, you want to promote another show. But this movie just felt like, felt very strange and out of nowhere. And then afterwards it was like, then they made this whole thing about like when women were blocked on the season. Like it just sort of kept going and going. It was like, oh my God, this is so rough. And then when they talked about what's next to come in the season, like we didn't even hear for Ari's opinion. It was just the actors from Blockers telling us what they thought was going to happen in the season. It's like, okay, what are you even doing here? Anyway, so that was a kind of a weird note to end on. But anyway, that's it for Women Tell All. Thank you for tuning in to my, and it's so not the morning after. It's not even midnight here, but I have to get this out. I want to get it out. I don't want to wait till after I've landed in New York. So I appreciate any of you tuning in and catching this late night the morning after. And as always, don't forget to sign up for the Maltesers #RoseGoals challenge. You are already watching the show. You might as well put in your predictions, and you are entered to win prizes, including a trip to Toronto. So you go to flair.com/themorningafter to enter the #RoseGoals challenge. Thank you guys for tuning in to I'm only using air quotes for the morning after tonight. The morning after, and be sure to check out my Flair recap later on. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Good night.